Hi there, and welcome to season 2 of Secrets of the Mind. And in this season, I'm joined by Magdalene Omolo, who is a training counseling psychologist. So feel free to ask any question. We are ready to answer you. So welcome, Magdalene Omolo, and kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Magdalene, and I'm a training counseling psychologist. And today we are here to talk about secrets of the mind and what impact it can give you in your life.
Yeah, you're welcome so much.
You.
And today we are going to focus on what is happening in our country.
Yes.
We've had episodes where people are losing their lives because either of love, because of relationships.
Yes.
So we want also to talk more about it and why are these things happening? Yeah.
Personally, of late there have been so many allegations of people being killed, people being raped. Just recently we saw on the news about a girl who was either pushed or she killed herself from 4th floor. Was it in Zimmerman?
Yeah,
in Thika Road area?
Tome.
In Tome. For me, it's an indication of life stressors. It reaches a point where someone is very stressed because actions speak louder than words. It's intrinsic. It comes from within for it to behave, for you to behave the way you're behaving. Therefore, I believe there are small indicators, childhood traumas, small indicators that actually trigger you in your future. And decision making that you make in your future can either be detrimental or you can decide to change it and become a better person.
Wow.
Because people have anger, people have bitterness because of their childhood traumas. So whenever a girl probably behaves in a certain way that triggers his childhood stressor, it can actually make that person behave very badly. Yeah, I think so.
You're right. Then we have another story of Jowie Irungu and Monica.
Yes.
Monica Kimani, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
So this case has been on and off for a long period of time. I think right now it's more of 5 years.
Yes.
And we've not yet come to a conclusion, and we really don't know what might have killed Monica and who might have killed Monica.
Yes.
So what do you think that these things are happening mostly in these young relationships or in the age of 20 to 40? Because most you find that ladies are being killed at the age of 20 to 30 in that bracket, and at the age of 30 to 40 you get that men are committing suicide.
Yes.
So what are also some of the things that are making men commit suicide at the age of 30 to 40?
I believe it's financial pressure. Yeah. Everyone, they want to fit into a certain kind of status to give it to their girlfriends or their wives, and probably, I think it's financial pressure. It all boils down to finances and how they're making their money right now. Trust me, look at how right now the pressure to be in a certain level of status is compared to how it was in our generation. By now, a 27-year-old you see on the social media, she's a millionaire. You see? How do you think her friends want to fit into her life? They also struggle to be. These men, they are intimidated by such a person, and they want to really fit in. I think it's all financial and economic pressure.
Picking from what you said, it's more of economic pressure.
Yes.
And is it also, I think it has skipped my mind, but is it how we were brought up, or ladies are more empowered than men in an extent that you find that a man cannot handle an empowered lady?
Yes.
So most of the time you get that at this age bracket they feel that they're losing really a lot.
That is a very, very big pointer. Yes, it is. Because right now the empowerment for women is it's amazing. It's gone over the roof. And and right now I feel the boy child is also being left out. So yes, that is a point you have. They are being intimidated.
And the way we are being brought up right now,
yes,
and the empowerment that we are giving to our ladies,
yes,
and are we not leaving out the boy child in a way that we in the next future, like 5 to 10 years, we are going to have ladies who are empowered than more men? Do you think that this is going to affect the generation then?
It is going to affect them.
How?
Definitely, because as you're saying, we are leaving out the boy child. There is no more recognition of the boy child. Oh, it is Women's Day today, yesterday. Everywhere, flowers, purple pictures, pink pictures, all over the internet. What happens to Father's Day?
Or a men conference.
Or even men conference, you know, it's not as impactful, or it's not as even well laid out like the way these ones for women are laid out. So yes, I feel they are left out in a society. We need to, even for women who are bringing up young boys, we need to also go back to the drawing book. I feel that we need to empower them in this sense. Bring them up as boys. Yes, you're a single mother. Yes, you're maybe you're a grandmother taking care of your grandsons. Don't just dismiss them. After all, you're a boy. You do this. You do that. You need to also empower them, make them feel important. You know, they always see it's only mommy who works or it's
daddy who works.
You know, that is also one narrative we need to change. Yes.
There is another case in, if I'm not sure, it's Siaya, Homa Bay, I think. There is a man who killed the kids and house help, but he didn't kill the wife because apparently the wife was not at home.
Yes.
So what do you think might have led this man to killing the kids and the house help, then later killing himself?
Personally, he has also probably his own issues as a person. And he didn't know how to handle them. He didn't know where to face. He didn't know how to deal with them. And probably he's a person who holds back information to himself and makes decisions out of his anger, out of his bitterness, out of his, you know, he's holding on to his own individual self. And probably he has issues that he didn't want to deal with. You know, there are people who just shelve issues and they don't want to deal with that.
Mostly so for the men.
And mostly so for the men. So then it boils up to a level that now it can make them make such ridiculous decisions to actually kill children. And the house girl, it was such a sad story. I really did not, I felt so sad for them. But it's like, you're my problem, let me also go with you, you know, so that it gets back to the wife, if they had a relationship issue, that it gets back to the wife that, hey, I've gone. I've also gone with the children, you know. That's the message it was also sending. So it's a sad state of affairs.
And do you think the society has failed the boy child? Because most of the time you found, in the past generation, it was, for a man, you're supposed to be a man. You're supposed to act like a man.
Yes.
By acting like a man, you're not supposed to talk your issues. If you have your issues, you die with your issues. If something is overwhelming on your side, unakufa na, you cry, machozi na mwagika huko kwa tumbo.
That is it.
Now, do you think that the society has contributed to what our men are right now?
Partly, but again, when you look at the education system, right now the teachers are taught counseling, how to counsel these children in schools. So for me, the part of psychoeducation in schools should be a very, it should be applauded, it should be recognized, like it should be let out to know that we are also doing this to help your children or to help these children to be a better person in the society. I think also the system has not been very favorable to teachers because of the overwhelming numbers of students, and it also overwhelms them. They also have their own personal issues. Everything boils down with leadership systems, government systems, and how we are going to implement psychoeducation in schools. And yes, the boy child has been kept away and has also been taught in that level of, you're supposed to be a man, you're supposed not to cry. You know. But right now, nowadays, even women tell their boys, no, it's okay to cry. Tell me what is disturbing you. So we're even switching to even spoiling them sometimes. Well, yeah, they become even more mama's boy than he's being a man.
But in our generation, I feel that because of the awareness that we have,
Yes.
at least we are embracing the boy child, and
Yes.
we are telling them when they fall down, they should cry.
They should
not
cry.
like long time ago,
They should not cry.
they're like,
Yes.
mwanaume hafai kulia.
That blood is not supposed to come out, and the blood is coming out. I mean, yes.
So it was, I feel also on my side, I feel that the society has contributed to our men right now. Leave alone the boys who are growing. Our men are not opening up on the issues that they're experiencing. That's why you find that in a relationship, a man is maybe financially, let me say, he's not financially stable or financially okay, but the man can't open up to the wife or the woman and tell them they're not financially okay because they want to carry the burden for themselves. So I feel that the society then contributed to how our men are right now.
Yes.
Because even all these killings and what are the suicide cases that are happening right now, you feel that a man doesn't want to open up because they feel that at the end of the day, when I open up, I feel weak. I will not be viewed as a man or a strong person that I am, but they will only view my weakness.
Correct.
So at the end of the day, right now we're trying to, with the awareness of mental health, at least men are coming out, talking about how they feel, what is happening on their side, why are they behaving the way they're behaving. So it can be also another factor of why these relationships are not even working.
Yes.
And therefore, at the end of the day, you find that a man is killing maybe the wife, or a man is behaving the way they're behaving. Because at the end of the day, I'm supposed to be the man in this relationship. So if you provide, then what am I supposed to do?
Yes.
So also the society at some point failed us.
I think also there should be some balance in how people communicate in their relationships, if you ask me. Because right now in this economy, you find both men and women are bringing food to the table, they're putting everything together, they're building homes together, they're doing everything together. So communication here is also very key. Social media has its part to play, by the way, and there's also peer pressure, a lot of social influence. All these factors put into one basket. It boils down to how the two of you are going to communicate. Yes.
So with we bring up best point, social media.
Yes.
In the generation ya 90s, hakuwa na social media. In marriages and relationships, they were working. There was dating, after dating, marriage, marriage were working, wangelea watoto vizuri. Now that we have social media, everything is digital.
Yes.
Do you think it's also contributing to this relationship failure and what is happening in the relationships?
It has some level of contribution in terms of failure. But again, when you ask me failure, it's all in the mind. What do you view as a failure? What do you view as a pass? But when you look at how people communicate and how people use social media nowadays, it's all influential. It's a switch in your head which will tell you, this is not me, or this is me, and I think I like this, I think I can do this, I think I will not even bother to follow this. It's all in the mind. It is how you actually switch your mind. Is it going to influence me or not? But it is a huge influencer if you let it be.
And if it's a huge influencer and it affects how we behave, because right now mimi nikiona mtu ameva the way they're dressed kwa social media,
and you like it,
Facebook, I like it.
Yes.
I'll do everything possible to dress the way they dress.
Because you have switched it. Like, yes, I like this. It's already influencing you right there. Yes.
And on the other side, when these influencers wakikuja now, they don't have money, they start saying that the society, now us, we were pushing them to that point of they have to live this good life because sisi tuna expect, because they're influencers, they have everything, they have to live in best houses, drive best cars, dress well. So is social media influencing us, or are we influencing social media? Because it's now like it's now a two-way thing.
It is.
I see somebody dressed well, I see somebody driving a good car, and
Yeah.
I want.
Yes.
Then at the end of the day, when I acquire it with all the means, the same person will come and say, we influenced them to live such a life because right now they're broke. So what do you think social media is doing to us?
Good question. What is it doing to us? Or what is it doing to you as an individual? It goes back down to a person. But yes, it has its own expectations. That person influencing you has expectations that I'm expected to live in a certain way, in a certain status, in a certain kind of environment. You know, how can I be the MP and I'm living in they tell each other, there's that already expectation. It's up in the clouds there, but it's an expectation, you know, and probably that's why when things go down badly for them, again, it's expecting. It all plays a role. Expectation is a huge indicator for so many things. Why I expect you to behave in a certain way. Even you, I will expect you to behave in a certain way when things are down for me. It's all expectation. The word expectation has some weight there.
So it's all about its expectation. The word is expectation.
In fact, what you just told me, it's about expectation. They expect, you expect.
So everybody is expecting.
It's in the cloud there. It's not really written on it, but it's there. It's just in the cloud there. It's an expectation.
And we've gotten info that most of the time when let's switch and talk kidogo about gender-based violence.
Okay.
When it happens to a lady, we talk out. But when it happens to a man, they don't talk. Why do you think they don't talk?
Why do I think we are patriarchal society? And in patriarchal society, when you look at the history of patriarchal society, men are the sayers. Men are the ones who are supposed to be the lions. They are the ones who are supposed to be on the front line, you know? So yes, they should have that defense mechanism. They should be strong. It's all that kind of nature that nurtured them that should nurture them to be like that. And that's my answer to you.
Okay, so at the end of the day, we're still on our topic of what is happening, why are people being killed and why are people committing suicide. So when somebody is growing in that family where there is domestic violence, do you think that this person grows up with that bitterness and that thing still instills in them when they grow up? So when they get somebody, they will also replicate what happened when they were young?
Chances are very high, unless the person now takes their mental health. Doesn't mean mental health that you are crazy. Takes their mental health on a safety journey to just know that, hey, that was coming from a bad place. I don't want to be that bitter person. I don't want to be a person who lives the way my father did because he used to do this to my mother. I don't want to. That is a person taking a proper mental health path to tell themselves, this has to stop. I will not do this to my children. I want to be sober with my children. I want to bring them up in the right way. They will look for information on how to deal with that. They will look for, if you decide that, you will look for information on how to be a better person. And that information takes you to psychoeducation again. Yes. Do I see a counselor? How do I want my relationships to be? What type of a woman do I want in my life? What type of children do I want to bring up in my life? So that is already a good mental health path that one is taking. Yes.
So that applies to the boy child and also applies
to the girl child.
Because also at the end of the day, there's that child who will, a girl who will be affected by domestic violence at home, where she will bring it to her marriage.
To her marriage, yes.
Okay. So it's also a factor that is contributing to the murder cases we are hearing and the suicidal cases we are hearing.
Huge factor, I believe. Yes, it is.
Because of the bitterness somebody has for a long period of time.
Yes, and childhood trauma, subconsciously, because it's in the subconscious mind, it's a driving force in your actions to do. You know, you can I can be a very bitter person, but back there, that bitterness is coming from many years of my childhood, and it just nurtures itself into this. You become a very bitter person. People know you to be always a very bitter person, a very angry person. And why are you angry? If you ask yourself, if you sit calmly and ask yourself, what is that is making me so angry all the time? And what comes to your mind are your relationships in the past, or how you used to be beaten by your father, or you're living with step-parents who didn't love you, or you never felt loved ever since. You always have that bitterness. Yes, it's a huge factor in someone's life and decision-making in the future. Yeah.
So there is somebody who is watching, and maybe they would want to know what is trauma, because we keep, as a psychologist, we keep talking about trauma. Then there's that PTSD. So what is the difference between trauma and PTSD? Because I think they all go the same way.
First of all, we can define trauma. Trauma is an experience that one has that has been detrimental. It can be physical, and it is normally very physical and mental. So you live up with this replay in your mind. Say you were raped by a relative, right? Whenever you see that relative, it just triggers, it hits you of the pain that you felt, the dirt, the way he handled you. It just hits you and it traumatizes you. You don't even want to be next to that person or people who look like that person or who are associated with that person. So it generates some fear. Trauma is that fear in you about an experience that you had.
Then the PTSD side.
Post-traumatic disorder, it is something that always comes after. It's a replay that comes after that also hits you in a very negative level. Because whenever you replay, what if you were again raped a second time? Where does that take you? It takes you to a very deep level and a very negative level of life. You feel you are always isolated. You feel like a victim. You start isolating yourself. You start discriminating against yourself. You start being, there's no self-love. Like, you always look at yourself negatively, and the world around you will be very negative. You'll always look at groups of people and shy away from that, run away from certain situations. You don't want to be in the dark. You don't want, the whole experience just comes and hits you, and you now gravitate towards isolation. You gravitate towards being a very negative person, being someone who doesn't like to be social. Probably you are gang raped, things like that. You don't want to in a dark room. You always don't want to be in the dark. You're this person who wants to sleep with the lights on all the time, because there's that fear that something in the dark is bad. You're going to get hurt. You're going to experience another break of your life, and it just reorganizes you in a very bad way.
Okay, since we have identified some issues that are making a relationship to go sour, like you find that a lady has killed the boyfriend, or a boyfriend has killed a girlfriend. So we've identified issues like economic hardships,
Yes.
which includes finances.
Yes.
We have also identified issues like trauma, when
Yes.
what you went through
What
when
you went
were
through.
young.
Yes.
And also domestic violence is also under the trauma side.
Correct.
And also sometimes it's infidelity.
Infidelity.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it, but
Yes.
also
It's part of it. Yes.
And also maybe in a relationship where maybe it wasn't going right, maybe in a marriage, maybe divorce also can be also a factor.
Correct.
So having that we've identified all these things, and maybe those that we've not identified because we don't know about them.
Yes.
So what do you think we can do to either stop all these things from happening, to reduce the murder cases or to reduce the suicidal cases in our generation right now?
What I think we can do as psychologists and as counselors out there, we need to advertise ourselves very well that, hey, you can come and talk to us. Whatever level of pain that you're going through in your mental state, you can come and talk to us. It is us as a society, a counselor society, counseling society, psychologist society, to come out and be out there and tell people, you can come and talk to us. You don't need to go through it alone. You're not alone. Come and share your story with someone. Come and come and vent out. Bring it on. Tell someone. Talk to someone. And you find someone who's going to help you out here. So that by the time you're getting out in the daily society, you are cognizant of, oh, this is what triggered this. Oh, this is what I shouldn't do. This is what I shouldn't be thinking. My thought process and my school of thought has always been very negative. Now you can shift it to be in a positive. You don't always have to put on black clothes so that people don't identify you or look at you. And yet, you can be bright and beautiful. You don't have to have makeup. It boils down to us coming out and psychoeducating people. Yes.
I forgot to mention this. In the domestic violence part, you find that most of the time when somebody grows up, they become, is it toxic, or they become, there is this word that we use, a narcissist. So at the end of the day, you find that the relationship is not working because of the other party
is a narcissist.
Yes. So being that the other party is a narcissist, and maybe you love this person and you want to be in this relationship, but it can't work, what should one do?
Now, like I said earlier, communication is very key. Look at a narcissistic behavior. They will always want to manipulate you. They'll always want to, like we say, kukupa kavasli. But in the other side, they know what they want from you. They know how to manipulate you, how to get a grip on you. It is also very good that you realize this is a narcissist if you're on the other side of the relationship. So how do you deal with this narcissist? If that person does not want to be talked to, get someone else to talk to that person. And a very neutral party here. It doesn't have to be someone both of you know.
And if the person is not ready to change?
Is also very rigid. Take yourself on a meeting and ask yourself, what is it that you really want from this relationship? That is now on an individual level. We cannot tell you, walk away
from the relationship.
No. Look at ways and means of mitigating such a person. And you never know. They might boil down to love has ways of speaking. Oh, yes.
And that those people who are never ready to change,
yes,
are never ready to listen,
yes,
at that point just walk away, because most of the
yes,
narcissists seclude you from the people.
Yes.
Now you are alone, you
yes,
don't have anybody to talk to. So if you see the signs or you feel like you're not just comfortable, you have the right to walk out.
Absolutely. That's why I'm saying, once you identify the fact that this is a narcissist, man or woman, once you identify that, take yourself on a meeting. Personal meeting. Call yourself, talk to yourself, ask yourself all the questions you want to ask, because it is you who is in this relationship. That's my point.
Because at the end of the day, one will end up dying if you don't call yourself in a meeting.
If you don't. The cognition is first of all a good start right there, that you recognize this person is a narcissist. Oh yes. Or this is a gaslighter. Or this is a what? Or this is a manipulator or a procrastinator. Do I go down on a list? Check it, remove it, it's upon you. Yeah.
And as we come to the end of this show, I just want to take 1 minute as we come to the end. For those people who have died because of they've been killed by their loved ones, and also for those stories that we'll never get to hear the other side.
Correct.
Because like for Monica, at the end of the day, Monica Kimani, we don't know why Monica was killed.
We don't have answers.
Who killed Monica? So you get that at the end of the day, we don't know, and we will never know what transpired. So the perpetrators might be arrested, or they might never serve their terms in jail.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, we just take a minute, and also we send for all those who died.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching Secrets of the Mind Show. I have been your host, Jedida Wafula, and together with me, my co-host, Magdalene Omolo. And don't forget to catch more. And I told you, don't forget to check on your friends. Don't forget to check on your neighbors, on your family members, because mental health is very crucial. If you're not okay mentally, there is nothing you can do, or you can't run your daily life activities. So let's nothing you can do, or you can't run your daily life activities. So let's catch each other on the next show. Bye.